friends, how you doing today? Hope you are all doing well. Happy weekend. The weekend is finally upon us. For me, it's not quite the weekend yet. I'm filming this on Thursday, but I know most of you are probably watching this over the weekend, and so happy weekend or whatever day you are watching. I am having an excellent day. I just sat in a lecture series done for one of our local universities here has a lecture series that focuses on increasing awareness for professionals for individuals with developmental disabilities, and today's was on improving relationships with employers for building those connections to getting individuals with disabilities, any kind of disabilities, into the workforce. So I was lucky enough to go and participate in that workshop today. And so now I am home and I'm going to relax and do a wee bit of stitching, and I am looking forward to it. I'm hoping to get the majority of this page finished today on Henry. This is for all of you who are new to my channel or have not been following me for very long, this is my very first heaven and earth design that I've ever stitched. This is Henry VIII. I'm stitching him on 28 count white Lugana even weave 1/1 full crosses. I know it is hard for you to actually see what I'm working on just because of the smallness of the stitches and how the camera and everything is set up, but you get the feel for what I'm actually doing. I know if you're following me on Instagram, I have been posting regular updates on Instagram of this page coming to life, and I've been saying that this page has actually been I felt that this page has been going much slower than it has felt like other pages have come together, but I guess it's about average. So far it's been about a week and a half. So by the time, I think if I get the majority of this page done today, and if I can finish it up Friday night, I should have, it would be roughly about 2 weeks for this page to be completed. So I am attempting to do a stitch with me here while doing confetti stitching. You can see if you're watching along instead of stitching, and if you are stitching, that's perfectly fine. I know what that's like because I do that often. I usually don't look up unless I'm told to look up. If you're interested in how I do my confetti across the page and on this piece, because there is so many colors, but then also so many stitches of each color on the page, I do complete each color across the entire page before moving on to the next color. So I do cross country, I guess you could say page by page extreme cross country. I don't know. I mean, I do cross country per page for every color, depending upon how the page is laid out. It's slow at the beginning just because I'm building up my scaffolding or like my framework of stitches to build the other ones around. But then once I have that initial framework, it's much easier for me to find where the stitches go. And I have guides then to assist me with finding the holes for each of the other colors. Of course, you know, there's always times that I'm like, okay, I can't find where this needs to go, or I get lost on the page in the confetti, and it is slow going at times, but for me, that's how my brain works. And yes, I'm going to get comments on why don't I try parking, and I've addressed that on many videos in the past. I have attempted parking in the past. Parking does not work for me. I know it works for many other people, and that's excellent for them. I just cannot wrap my brain around how parking works, and I can't handle the messiness of, for me, what I contrive as messiness of all the different threads hanging down whenever they're parked, and so I prefer to do one color at a time. Now, with that being said, and I'm going to sneeze, so bear with me one moment. Excuse me. Excuse me. Once I get farther along and I'm getting down to the nitty-gritty confetti colors that only have a few spots here and there, I will go ahead and do all of one color, leave that strand hanging in the back out of the way, and then go on to the next color. That is why I have so many needles here, because when I get to that point, I will go ahead and stitch up to 4 different colors and then tie them off in the back, and so I don't have to constantly flip my piece over, just to help streamline things when it comes to stitching those confetti colors that have minute amounts of stitches on the page. Where is that at? So what I try to do with whenever I do the confetti across the entire pages, I try to find a way on the page that makes sense for me to flow for each color, and I follow that pattern throughout the page to just make and I carry the threads across the page and what works best for each color. Often it will be that I will go take a 20 or a two block, which would be 20 stitches section, and just take that the whole way across the page, and then go up and come back and go back, or I will go up and down the whole way across, just until to cover, and so that way I have no spots left untouched and I don't miss. Of course, there are always those times where I will miss the random stitch and I will have to pull that color back out, but I really try my hardest to get all of the colors, or all of the stitches, so I don't miss any. on Wednesday I was talking about how I have a couple new starts planned out, and I'm really looking forward to starting them. And I was actually thinking about starting one earlier this week, but I am actually forcing myself to finish this page first, only because I know if I set Henry aside for something else and don't finish this confetti page, I don't know when I will come back to it. And I think while firstly it will bother me that the page is left undone, but I also know that I will avoid coming back to it because I know there is a confetti page left undone. So like I'm really forcing myself to focus on stitching the entire page before I set him aside. And that's what I've tried to do with him all along because of these heavy confetti pages, is that whenever I am on a heavy confetti page, I really attempt to complete the entire page before I move on to something else, just to give me a clear spot to know where to. It's really a way of just having that clear stopping point. Because, you know, when you're working on a heaven and earth design that has, or a full coverage design that has so much confetti, such as Henry, and you're used to doing it on a regular basis, you kind of get an idea. You kind of memorize the different where things should be. So it makes it a lot easier. Whereas if you put it up for a while and then come back to it, it's kind of like slogging through the mud again. Like it takes you a while to get back into the rhythm and the routine and finding where you left off and fixing, not fixing, but like just retraining your brain. At least that's how it works for me. Feel free to leave in the comments if you've done the same thing and you a found it to be the same, because I know it just makes much more sense for me to finish up on a page break, and then that way when I come back to it, excuse me, then I have to start my scaffolding and my for the confetti over again. I was talking in my Wednesday update how I am really excited about some those new starts that I have planned, and it's been really fun. I think it's also because of the beginning or the coming to the end of the year and getting to the beginning of the new year and kind of planning out some ideas for possible new starts for the new year and just where I want to see my stitching go in the new year. And so I've really been looking at what kind of projects I want to be working on coming up, especially with new projects. So it's been a lot of fun and really pushing my excitement levels to look at the different things that I'm wanting to work on, getting them kitted up and ready to go for whenever I'm ready for a new start to have them ready to go. And I think I've been tossing it in the back of my mind because I haven't really been participating in high tea because I'm not one to do new starts very often just because they're overwhelming. I don't like to have a lot of projects going on at the same time. But I think in the new year, starting in January, I might do more, I might participate in high tea more often. And during those high tea Sundays, I will start some of my smaller designs that I'm really wanting to just to work on and to enjoy and to to help cleanse my palette and see some progress and maybe some finishes in the new year that I don't get with my massively large projects. And I was watching Letitia's her newest video, The Crafty Curator, and she was mentioning in her video about how she has decided that after High Tea Sunday, then the following month of Fridays that she's going to devote her Friday night stitch-ins to her high tea starts. And I thought that was a great idea because then like she had said that it will give her an opportunity to see some progress on those starts that she does start. And so I think that might be something that I'm curious to give a go at and to see if that works for me. Let me see where I need to be. Okay, there's that. See, this is the part that sometimes right here that it sometimes takes a while to find where I need to be. That I really kind of think will work for me, that maybe I might participate with her in that, is that if I do a high tea start, then I might use that time on Friday nights to focus on that one piece, just to give it some defined time to see more finishes. So I don't know. I don't know if that will work for me or not, but I'm considering it. Again, I'm not much of a planner. I don't like to plan a whole lot, but I like to have general ideas of what I'd like to do, just so that, because it's always fun to think about what you want to do. So as you can see, I hope you can see, what I am doing is moving up the page in a fairly wide column of about 300 stitches. Well, it's a 300 stitch a, a 30 grid 30 stitch grid wide, 30 a grid of 30 stitches wide column in order to stitch the color that I'm working on, because it is fairly sparse, but then this color is, it's sparse in areas but then heavily concentrated. What was that? Just that. In other areas. So, and along with how I stitch confetti on heaven and earth designs, another tactic I also like to do is, whenever there is a lot of confetti, sometimes I can get overwhelmed or bogged down by where should I start or which color should I do next. So what I personally like to do is I will find an area that I want to start filling in, kind of like, color by number, or painting in a section. So what I've been doing is trying to fill in this bottom side of the hand. And so as I fill in the bottom, I'm picking colors from the bottom and I'm working my way up. So I will pick one color from down here. I will fill it in completely on the entire page, and then I will come back down to this section, pick the next color that's in this general area, fill that all the way in. And then that way it just kind of gives me a general area to pick colors from. And that it also helps me to see the page fill in as I go, because as I'm stitching those colors, this section will start to fill in more rapidly than maybe other areas. Like this is a much more confetti heavy area, so this will fill in quicker than this up here, and it just guides the confetti, it fills in the confetti section areas. So then by the time I'm left to just work in the confetti heavy areas, the majority of those areas are filled in, and I just have random spots left to fill in. I hope that makes sense. So I want to thank everyone for their continued support of my channel. Thank you for commenting and liking, and of course subscribing if you've subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you, if you like what you've seen so far on my channel, either from my progress updates or the Stitch with Me's, please consider subscribing on my channel. I thoroughly enjoy reading all of your comments and suggestions, and if you do have a suggestion for a video or a topic of conversation for one of these Stitch with Me videos, please, again, like I've said many times before, please just let me know. I'm always looking for topic suggestions for these videos. And I love to hear from you. Where am I at? Right here. And again, my Etsy store is open. You can check out all of my patterns available there. The link is in the profile or in the information section below. And don't forget, there is free shipping if you buy any 2 or more patterns, printed patterns. Free shipping, just use the coupon code buy2ship3. And that is going on through the end of 2018. So buy 2, ship free to get free shipping on any 2 patterns printed in my Etsy store, Ginger Gerald Designs. And don't forget to make sure you go over and check out my Ginger Gerald Designs Instagram page, where you can stay up to date with all of my business-related news, updates, and promotions. I do plan time to time to throw some coupon codes on there, as well as maybe some giveaways. It's hard to say what could possibly show up there, but you need to be following and be a subscriber or a follower on Instagram over there to participate and to stay up to date on all of those fun activities. So thank you again for all of that, and for all you do to help out my business and my channel, and to help make my stitching more enjoyable. And I do really mean that. I find I really do enjoy interacting with all of you, and I do feel like I truly have made many friends through Instagram and YouTube and the creation of this channel. So thank you very much. With that being said, I'm going to finish out this color on this page, and I am going to let the music play out and leave you with, don't forget to always be creative.